Thank you. So my name is Ron Nugent. I live in Wellington, Nova Scotia. My MLA is Bill Horn. I worked really hard for him in the last election, and in fact, he's also my next-door neighbor. My son, very familiar with his grandkids, and they play together, they have a great time, and now Bill Horn won't even answer an email from any of his constituents. He won't answer a phone call. He won't acknowledge you at Tim Hortons. To me, he's the biggest disappointment that the Liberal Party has produced. I also have connections with Patricia Arab. I carpooled with her for 3 years while we worked our butts off to upgrade our education license to become guidance counselors for this province, because the need is astronomical. I'm also very disappointed in Patricia, and I've been rallying her to try to open her eyes to not see the bully tactics that Premier is pushing forth on all of these young politicians, because essentially what he is doing is throwing them under the bus. You people being senior cabinet ministers and whatnot, you got no worries. You got everything. You got your salary, you got your pension, you got your indexing, you got your long service award, which is transitional or whatever the heck you want to call it, you got it. I'm a father, I'm a constituent, and I am a guidance counselor. And what this contract is doing is destroying so much for the future educational experience that my 12-year-old son with special needs has. He is on adaptations at school. He's in a class. I'm trying to get him to learn French immersion because it's a right that's guaranteed in our educational system, and I'm very grateful for that. His class has 30+ kids, primarily boys. As a teacher, I always ask my students to listen to me attentively when I'm speaking, and that's how we progress, but yet I'm not getting individual respect here at the table as I'm speaking, and I would appreciate it if there couldn't be conversation while I'm talking from that gentleman there. I don't know who he is, but it'd be nice if you could be respectful. In this contract, the respect that you guys are showing us is next to none. I don't care if there's 3, 4, 5, 7 contracts. I don't care. What I care about is you guys, the Liberal government, listening to us and in with him. He's like a dad to me in a sense, one that I've now since disowned, because he has turned his back on all of us, just like you guys are right now. This bill is unconstitutional. I don't want to get into the law stuff because I don't know it. All I know is that presently, listening to the CBC, 37 lawyers that are involved in or listening to this across Canada have read this, and they're not buying that it's going to pass in a court of law. And so I can't wait until the NSTU and the province of Nova Scotia take this minister to court, because rather than giving us a cost of living increase, I care less about that too. I'm sorry? 1 minute. 1 minute? Of my 5. Then I have 5 more. Okay, thank you. I could care less about that. What I could care less about is that you listen to what we've been saying, and we've been telling you our classes, the class climates suck. They're not good. Go in and sit just for a few minutes and you'll recognize it. Don't go in for a photo op. Go in and sit for the day. I implore you to do that. I encourage you to do it. I'm sure that some of you have children or grandchildren or whatever, think about what their future is going to look like the way I'm thinking about what my 12-year-old boy is going to look like. He's going to be in a class in high school with 50 kids. He can barely survive in the class he's in now. And I'm just appalled as a parent, first and foremost. The last little piece I want to talk about is, as a guidance counselor, I'm dealing with mental health issues like crazy. Whether I have kids slicing their wrists because they're stressed, or I have other students pulling handfuls of hair out of their heads because they don't know how to process their anxiety, that's why I'm here today. You guys in this, I totally got that. You guys in this bill have not one factor addressing mental health, suicide rates, nothing. $20 million of what? of a committee that gets to sit and decide where their money's going to go, and then there's not even an arbitrator anymore? It's a joke. You people, I speak to you. Think about what you're doing. I'm going to tell you one little story about a young boy that called my house one night. He was a student of mine, guidance counsel. I serviced him 2 or 3 times a week. He took a ton of pills, actually 69 extra strength Tylenol with a bottle of Mountain Dew. And then he called me, I don't know how. He was in a ditch in Spryfield. I live in Fall River. His parents had nothing to do with him. I got in my car on a Saturday night, 2 a.m., drove in, got him. He didn't want to kill himself, but he didn't know what else to do for attention. But I was there on a Saturday night, and I brought him to the ICU. I had his stomach pumped. His parents wouldn't even come down and pick him up. Now you tell me that the government is giving me enough support to counsel these kids? Take your tie net and shove it. I'm sick of a drop-down menu. Since this work to rule that you guys call it, that it's called work to contract is what I call it, I'm able to double up on the kids that I see in my office every day. I am one person servicing 435 kids, and there is mental health problems out the yin-yang. Your bill sucks. It does nothing to do. It addresses nothing that we need now. You guys are not giving me anything.